Ottawa, you guys are hardy people because it's cold out here. I'm standing there and I'm thinking I'm going to dance, I'm going to move, I'm going to do something because it's cold. But thank you. Thank you so much for braving the weather, because I think that this is a sign that we all want something different. This is a sign that we're done. We're done with the lies. We're done with the discrimination. We are done with the bad policies. We are done with people trying to divide us and make us forget that above all things, we are Americans. Much more important than being a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. Much more important than the fact that I am a woman of color. Much more important that even though I worship Jesus the same way that most people in Kansas do, it's okay if you worship Allah or Jehovah or Yahweh or no one, because what matters is that we are all human beings. And we refuse to be divided by lies. My friends, we are living in unprecedented times. Over 220,000 souls have perished in this country. Yesterday I heard a statistic that it was almost like 40 9/11s. So just pause and let that sink in your heart for a second. The fact that we are living in times in which we've lost so many Americans in this country, and yet we still deny the science. I know we don't, but our leadership does. We cannot allow for people to blindly follow a party, regardless of which party it is, and say that we care. You know what I want to bring us back to? I want to bring us back to the values of love and compassion that this country was built upon. I want to bring us back to the days where the fact that somebody was a human, and if you were in need, your neighbor would look at you and say, "How can I give you a hand up?" Not demonize you for having need. I want to talk about the fact that here in this country, many of our brothers and sisters are not having access to health care. And in the middle of a pandemic, there's talk about eliminating the Affordable Care Act, which is the only legislation available to protect individuals with pre-existing conditions. Guess what? What we're learning about COVID is that if you had the virus, you now have a pre-existing condition because your body does not know how to deal with it. And guess the other thing that we have is that we are not able to afford our prescription medications. I talked to somebody that was a veteran in Lecompton, and he was telling me how he was dealing with cancer, and the cost of the medication as a veteran was $80,000 a month. How could we do that to our nation's heroes? How can we do this? The richest country in the world, standing in between people's health. How can we start talking about how we're going to restart the economy if we're not giving our economy the boost that it needs by following the science? Make no mistake, our economy is suffering, but our economy is suffering not because there was a virus that was started somewhere else. Our economy is suffering because of the poor leadership that has been demonstrated over the last 3.5 years. And it's time that we are accountable not only to ourselves, but to the people that we want to serve. Make no mistake, this election is not about a party. This election is about decency. This election is about standing up for the values that make our country. This election is about restoring the integrity in every one of us as humans. There's lives at stake. Our rural communities are struggling with broadband. While this virus continues to wreak havoc on education, yet we expect our children to be able to have the same access to education when they cannot log in, and we're handing them Chromebooks. What are we doing? We have our brothers and sisters that are talking about what they're seeing online with the Black Lives Matter movement. It doesn't mean that because I stand with my black brothers and sisters that I don't love my police officers, but yet again, our country, just like with the parties, one or two, are being told that there's only one or another option. What about the third option of love and compassion and understanding? We can love our police officers, and because we love our police officers and we love order and we want to stay safe, say, hey, there's something wrong and we could do better. We cannot continue running campaigns and allowing politicians to run campaigns that are based on lies. You deserve better. Not just locally in Kansas, everywhere we deserve better. Hold your electeds accountable. Our farmers are suffering. They have cattle and grain that they are not able to sell for a profit. Our farmers don't want a handout. There is no American that I know that is waiting at home, sitting on a couch, eating chips, waiting for a government check. Every single American that I know wants to get to work. Unless they have a disability or unless they have some sort of mental health component that hinders them from doing so. But our American spirit is not one of receiving handouts. It's one of being able to contribute to our economy and pull our weight, regardless of our ability. This story that you're being told that there's people at home waiting for stuff is a lie. We need to come together to ensure that our economy is able to bounce back, that we're able to find opportunity for everybody regardless of ability, that we're able to deal with this virus so that we stop talking about it, and so that we could get together in a room that's covered because we're freezing right now, right? We're tired of hearing about the virus. But what we're not talking about is the root. It has to stop. The division has to stop. If you voted, I need you to talk to your brothers and sisters, your Republican brothers and sisters, your independent brothers and sisters, and remind them that integrity matters in elections, that the issues are more important than the party, and that lives of Americans are more important than the games that are being played at the national level. Thank you for being here. I'm going to stop because I know that we're cold, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions.